Good evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Thursday, November 21st, 2024. Making the headlines tonight, marriage amendment bill passed by Senate. Two murdered in Cayo in separate incidents. PM feels residents had enough warning ahead of flooding. And Kodikadir Special Olympics athlete wins 3 gold medals and receives heroes welcome. Today, in a historic moment during this sitting of the Senate, the Marriage Amendment Bill 2024 was passed. The bill sought to amend the Marriage Act where marriage can only be between two consenting adults 18 years of age and older. NGO Senator Janelle Chinona reflected on those who suffered before the amendment and praised the members of the Youth Parliament who first brought the issue to national attention.
The impact of the delay that justice has been denied to so many for so long is on all of us, so that as we look forward to reviewing and updating all our legislations that are contrary to the human rights that our Belizeans deserve, that we do so with more alacrity and speed. And I certainly join in welcoming our guests and in Senator Edison's call to arms to use this as fuel. I know very often as advocates we do not get, it's a thankless job, and your sacrifices seen and unseen are appreciated and certainly felt today, but Lord knows the list is long for the other things that remain. And to the young parliamentarians, I want to say how important it is that your generation recognize that you took on an issue at Parliament before it reached the actual Parliament. I am from a generation where children were to be seen and not heard. Please let this example and the fact that you did it first fuel your motivation to be seen and heard.
UDP Senator Michael Perfeed gave his kudos to the bill, even though he joked that it pains him to do so.
It is a good piece of legislation, Madam President. I think that marriage is such a serious act and a serious responsibility that you can only be engaged in that act on your own free will. And I think to use the number 18 is indicative of what we look at the age of 18. At the age of 18, you are an adult. And you should only enter into that union assuming you have the right faculties, and it is a decision that you are making for yourself, especially our young ladies. So, Madam President, the law is now on the verge of being changed to say that you can only get married if you're an adult, and nobody can force you or make you get married to who you do not want to get married to. So we praise the legislation and we congratulate the government, as much as it pains me to say that. We congratulate the government on changing the law. We are in full support on this side of the Assembly, Madam President, and we give kudos to the bill being passed today.
In more Senate news, the Senate debated the motion to increase by 5% Belize's total waters under some level of protection. This would bring the total marine protected areas to 25%. With this motion, the government of Belize is complying with its commitments under the Blue Bond signed in November 2021 in a debt for nation swap. Under the agreement, Belize is expected to eventually protect 30% of its waters on some level. UDP Senator Anthony Herrera argued that the livelihoods of fishermen and tour guides will be negatively affected and that they were not properly consulted beforehand.
Area 8, which is the Glover's Reef Marine Reserve, likely proposed expansion, that is where most of the fishermen fishing from Sartaneja, Chunush, Progresso and Copper Bank, Madam President. So, so the question would definitely rise, what will happen to these fishermen? One, they're being displaced. This reservation is close to home. It means a lot to us. Thank you. It means a lot to us in the fishing community and tour guides, right? And then they go about and say that consultation, right? They said 31 meetings, fishermen said that they were not properly consulted. There was not really the consultation with the main with the main stakeholders in the business, which are the fishermen and the tour guides. Also in Area 8, Area 8 is a is known to be the conch and lobster area, and therefore hosts a lot of fishing in that area. So when we come here and in the name of conservation and deprive the fishermen, especially the fishermen and tour guides, of their livelihood, taking away bread and butter from their table, that means a lot to us, Madam President. Therefore, we're here not to condemn the conservation or the reserves and stuff like that, but we need to do it responsible. We need to have a plan, Madam President. We need to have something in place. Where will these fishermen go, right? Where will they fish to provide for their families?
In response, Senator Eman Courtney, the leader of government business, said that it is on record that the consultations did occur and the proposed protection around Clover's Reef is only partial.
The motion sets out in extensive detail the extent of the consultation that was undertaken, and it includes the fishing industry post-harvest, the fishing industry wild capture. So it is very clear to me that on the face of it, there has been consultation. The major concern expressed by the Honorable Senator is that the extension from 20 to 25% of our ocean, and specifically in the Grover's Reef area, will impact the fishermen who make their livelihood from fishing in that area. The only point in response to the Honorable Senator is that it is a medium biodiversity protection zone. And as the motion itself says, that allows extraction, there can be fishing, and seabed alteration. So it is not that there is a complete bar, like a high protection zone. This is a medium protection zone that will allow fishing to continue.
A woman made a gruesome discovery on Wednesday afternoon when she went to visit her mother and found that she was fatally stabbed inside her home. The incident occurred in the Santa Cruz area of Santa Elena, Cayo. Reports are that the 63-year-old Miriam Castellanos suffered from multiple stab wounds to the body. Castellanos was last seen alive on Tuesday night around 7:30. Police are awaiting the results of a post-mortem examination. Another murder was reported in the Cayo district on Wednesday. This time, the incident occurred outside Divana's restaurant and bar in Roaring Creek, near mile 47 on the George Price Highway. Reports are that the 18-year-old Jonathan Josue Leonardo of Duck Run 2 Cayo was fatally shot around 10:45 last night. Leonardo was reported to have had a misunderstanding with another person at the establishment. Leonardo then reportedly attempted to leave the premises with two others in his vehicle. However, the individual he had a disagreement with followed him and fired shots at the driver's side of the vehicle. Leonardo was fatally shot. Police have recovered a expended 9mm shell at the scene. Police have identified one suspect who they are seeking investigations. In more crime news from Cayo, police on Wednesday around 1:30 p.m. were conducting a mobile patrol on Savannah Street in San Ignacio. During their patrol, police searched 53-year-old Herbert Rodman, who was found to have 0.21 grams of suspected cocaine and a 7-centimeter tall crack pipe on his person. Both items were confiscated and sealed. Rodman was subsequently arrested and charged for possession of controlled drugs and possession of utensil used to smoke controlled drugs. After the break, pleasant to receive free screening of The Honorable Shine. Stay with us.
Merry little Christmas.
The Belize River Valley continues to be affected by rising flood waters that are traveling downstream from the Kaya district. Many require the assistance of security services personnel to cross flood waters to get to school and work. Others have had to evacuate their homes and stay in shelters or with relatives. Today, we checked back with the resident of Rancho Dolores, Angie Smith-Tucker, who shared how conditions have changed since we last spoke.
Since yesterday, the water exceed quite a bit more, because when we spoke yesterday, it was still a distance from my area. And from yesterday till now, it's in my yard. It's surrounding my house. But we're safe. We're safe. We're dry.
Okay, so what happens next? Let's say, based on your experience, if it continues to rise, how many hours you have left where you have to decide what you will do?
I can safely say, I think this is it. It's not rising to that amount again. So I think after this, it will start to recede.
And how have your neighbors fared, or have you been able to speak to any of them?
Yes, we keep in contact. The little neighborhood, we keep very close relationship. Everybody is dry, everybody is well.
Earlier this week, the Prime Minister of Belize, Honorable John Briceño, was asked whether he feels residents of low-lying areas received enough warning about possible flooding. He took the chance to praise the leadership of the Met Service and NEMO.
NEMO did a good enough job to warn the residents living in low-lying areas and with their emergency preparation.
I really think so. They were alerting the citizens. They've been keeping them, especially along with the Met Department. We have to give Mr. Gordon and his team a lot of credit, to Mr. Captain Mendes from NEMO, as the head of NEMO, along with his team. They've been doing an excellent job. Minister Perez, they've been on top of this every step of the way. So we had enough notice, but you know, people sometimes will leave everything for the last minute, or hoping that it was not going to be as bad. Well, Tropical Storm Sarah was bad, but it wasn't as bad as we expected. So we're grateful for small blessings.
Earlier this week, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams chastised those who left insensitive comments on social media reports of a Corozal QRT police officer's home being shot at last week. Williams said police have an idea who could have shot at the officer's home. He explained that the officer is a good cop and that the incident could have been fatal, and asked for Belizeans to be more compassionate online.
I want to say to our Belizean people that we cannot be insensitive to issues, especially where the potential loss of life existed. And we can't be too harsh on the police officers who are out there every day making sure that you're safe. I saw some of the comments where people were saying it's not good for the police, or the police and chance, the police and this, the police and that. Those comments are very disgusting. At the end of the day, we cannot live in a society where the police is not respected, because if the criminals don't respect the police, then how do you expect as an ordinary citizen the criminals are going to respect you? We have to be careful of what we promote or what we encourage. And again, the police officer in question, whose house was shut up, he's an extremely hard-working police, and I can say a very decent one as well. You don't hear his name out there involved in any criminal activities, but certainly he goes after the criminals, and perhaps that's the reason why he was targeted, because he's extremely tough on those persons in the Corozal district who are hell-bent on committing.
During his press conference with the media on Wednesday, leader of the opposition, Moses Shine Barrow, said he does not feel threatened by the Alliance for Democracy faction heading into the general elections. Barrow reiterated that the UDP considers those who aligned with the AFD as no longer being members of the UDP. He also confirmed that he will field 31 candidates for the upcoming elections.
No, I believe that politics is local, and all of my standard bearers need to do their jobs, need to engage their people, need to build those relationships, and relationships built on trust and confidence cannot be easily penetrated. So I have a great level of confidence that my standard bearers have been working judiciously, and that whatever they are doing will have no impact.
But some of your standard bearers have supported choices, I believe, Elodia and Dr. Figueroa.
Yeah, those were not my standard bearers. They had remained neutral, but Elodia and Omar never supported anything, and they did not support my re-election. They did not support the first time I got elected, but I chose to embrace them in the name of unity, but that was no surprise. But yes, we'll be fielding 31 candidates.
On last night's newscast, we reported that the documentary featuring Moses Shine Barrow, The Honorable Shine, shot to #1 on Disney's streaming service, Hulu. However, Hulu is not available in Belize legally. Barrow said that he will be doing free screenings across the country, beginning in Belize City this weekend. He also said a part 2 is coming, as well as other projects.
We will be doing screenings at Ramada this weekend. I think we'll do screenings all across the country, but we'll start in Belize City, so everyone will be invited to that. We'll set up, have play tune marketing handling that, Brother Richie Galvez. So I guess he'll set up a system by which people can, RSVP, and maybe we'll do both theaters. I don't know what we have access to. I haven't checked back with him, but we'll, do as much people want to come and see it in the city, and then we'll go around the country and put up projectors. I know that the U.S. Embassy used to do, movies on the green. Maybe we'll do something like that, outdoor cinema, across the country.
So you'll be free of cost?
Yes, of course. But I believe if you can't wait, you'll get a Fire Stick, and I believe Hulu is available on Fire Sticks.
That's how it's not
Yeah.
But will there be a part 2?
Well, the part 2 is me being the Prime Minister of Belize.
So if that happens, then a part 2 to the documentary?
No, even if it doesn't happen, it will be a part 2 because it will document the journey. And there's so many other things that are happening. We have the scripted series, so like a TV series, like I want to think of a positive example, but ones that come to mind are like Deck of Cards or something like that, or a Billionaire, or just a TV series about my life. And then we have a memoir which will be adapted into a motion picture. So there are 3 projects left, but I'm sure you could do another documentary just about politics when it is all said and done.
After the break, Christmas party planned for those with disabilities, and you can help them celebrate.
For 15 years,
National Human Rights Institute. It is not yet established, but once it is, it would help Belize enhance human rights protections at the nation level. It will also help Belize to fulfill international obligations. The NHRI will fall under the obligation of the Office of the Ombudsman. Belize's Ombudsman, Honorable Retired Major H. Gilbert Swasso, explained the importance of the NHRI.
Government took the position that that is something that needs to happen with a view not to left anyone behind. So we'll be then, by establishing the National Human Rights Institute, we're also meeting one of the objectives or one of the indicators that is set out and established under the Sustainable Development Goal of 2030. So we are aligning ourselves to ensure that we achieve our objectives as under the Sustainable Development Goal, and in this case, particularly Sustainable Development Goal number 16. So that position is already established, and it is also through several consultations. It is now agreed and approved that the National Human Rights Institute will be lodged in the Office of the Ombudsman. That being confirmed and approved, then we now are in the process of ensuring that we do what is necessary to have this institute established and ensure that we have best practices, and we have to also ensure that it is Paris Principle compliant. That is also important. What does that mean? It means then that the National Human Rights Institute must be independent of the government, right? With such independence guaranteed either by statutory law or by the Constitution.
The Belize Assembly for Persons with Diverse Abilities will be hosting a Christmas party for their members on December 7th at their office on Mahogany Street in Belize City. K. Ray Mark Theos, the president of BAPTA, explained that things will be done differently this year, where the meal will be bought instead of prepared by the membership. The Assembly is also looking to expand their office space. BAPTA is asking for donations for both initiatives. Theos spoke more on both.
The thing is that in this year, it's easier for us to simply just buy the food off of a person who can do it in bulk, and then we just have it plated. Because it's hard to find the right. Let's say you get them in to be separating food and dishing up food and all that. You need volunteers for that, and people are I don't know, somewhat a reluctance, I guess, for volunteerism in Belize is not as big and bold as we would like it. So it's easier to just have them come to us, plate it out, and then we just send X amount to where it needs to go. And then those who are there will come and partake in the food, and we'll have music, of course, dancing, and some drinks, non-alcoholic drinks. They are available to members who can make it to the office. I think for us, it would be enough at least about what we have planned for the week, because there's some other things where food would be needed as well. It would probably be about maybe $5,000 Belize. $5,000 Belize will put us in a good state. Also, too, we are expanding the office. We're working towards the office will be doubled in size, and we're going to put up an area in the office for like a recreational area where people can come on set days, whether they want to do a game night, a movie night, or just to socialize, or even for our own meetings. So the office space will be much bigger as well than what we had before, so we're going to inaugurate that.
15-year-old Jair Hernandez received a hero's welcome after bringing back 3 gold medals for Belize in track and field events at the recently concluded Codicadir Special Olympic Games in Panama. Jair, a person with a disability, competed against other athletes with cerebral palsy. Jair is a student of Maryhill RC in Corozal Town, and his principal, Guillermo Pech, said they are very proud of him.
And obviously our school is so, proud of having one of our students, not only representing our school, but our district and our country as a whole. Just having and seeing one of our students here, a fellow Corozaleño, just shining in Central America, that was so nice. And we felt good. Let me tell you how he was selected. There was a program a couple of years ago whereby they were given a wristband, and in that wristband they were recording all their steps and speed of how they walk, how they run, and all of that. And based on that data, then they started selecting students, that were very active and physically capable, of competing. Jair was one of them. Actually, we had two students from our school, but one did not go. Jair is the one that did go. So he was selected to participate in the track and field areas of 100 meters, 200 meters, and 400 meters. Out of the three of them, he excelled. He won the gold medals in Panama.
Principal Petch spoke of the type of child Jair is and about Mary Hill RC giving a chance to students like Jair to get an education.
Our champion coming!
Congrats. But he's a very active student in our school community. He is currently part of the football team of our school. So Jair, for the first time, we included a special ed child in our normal team, and that's part of our mission to be very inclusive of students with different capabilities to be part of our everyday activities of our school. So Jair forms part of that team, and he's given opportunity to do a couple of minutes inside a normal game. And that's for the first time I think our school is doing that, and in our district, I believe so.
And with that, we have come to the end of our newscast. A repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again Friday at midnight. Join us again Friday at 6 p.m. for another news broadcast. I am Keenan Hyde. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.